Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Drew Davis, and I want to welcome you to Learn How to See Better. It's the only podcast out there that'll actually improve your vision the longer you listen. I want to take a moment to thank you for joining me today, and I've got some great information lined up for you. So relax and tune in, because we're about to begin. Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Drew Davis, your host of Learn How to See Better, and I want to welcome you to today's show. And to kick things off, I want to remind you of this one simple phrase. Don't forget to enjoy the journey. Yes, don't forget to enjoy the journey. I was thinking about that just a little bit ago as I was getting this morning's episode going for all of you guys, hoping you'll be able to use this and fuel your day and launch into a very productive and rewarding day. And I was thinking about, what can I pour into the audience that's really going to help make a difference in perspective? Because again, the whole theme of this podcast is learning how to see better. And sometimes people get hung up on what even that means. What do you mean I don't learn how to see better? Your eyesight deteriorates with age. And if you don't get enough beta carotene from your carrots and your bifocal, Seeing better here doesn't have to do with any eye chart from any optometrist. This has to do with your vision, your perspective on life, and how those changes can affect your world. And so when I talk about learning how to see better, it's literal, it's figurative, it's all the above, because sight is something that we must define. And I'm talking about the way that we see opportunity. I'm talking about the way that we see the quality of our decision making. I'm talking about the way that we can see the health of our relationships and our personal lives and our business lives, right? That's learning how to see better. What errors in judgment have you been making? What consistent practices have you been implementing on a daily basis that help to support you in the active pursuit of your endeavors? But why this topic today is relevant, don't forget to enjoy the journey, is because we're all human. We're all beautifully flawed, perfectly imperfect creatures. And what I found in my path as I've attempted to pursue different goals in life is that every so often, every now and then, you get these friendly little nudges, these gently little nudges off track, or these little voices in your head, call it whispers of the devil, if you will, that just suggest, hey, come on, why do we got to do so much? Why do we got to overachieve? Why can't we, just be regular? And why are all the regular people all that excited about being regular anyway? Let's slow it down a little bit from there, right? But that's not us. That's not this audience. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this. You making sense? Your minds are tuned to a different frequency. Your minds are more closely aligned with ambition. And why it's important to make sure that you don't forget that enjoy the journey is our human nature will sometimes work against us. I was talking in the previous episode about these dog days of summer, right? It's supposed to be 115 degrees Fahrenheit today here in Phoenix, Arizona, right? What motivation do you have to go outside and break a sweat in that, right? Who's going to be hanging out on the basketball court or the golf course at 3 p.m. in the afternoon? Not even the fanatics. Even the fanatics and the crazies aren't, they're not stupid. They're smart enough to go inside and find some shade and get hydrated, right? But when we say don't forget the journey, we really have to think about some of the things that can derail us, discourage us from making an effort to pursue the goals that matter to us. Case in point, just this morning. Alarm goes off, boom, 5 a.m., regular routine, getting up, felt very well rested, energized, ready to start the day, ready to beat the sun. And there's this little thought of like, man, why are you getting up so early? What's all this for? Another half hour, another hour of sleep, never killed anybody. You can afford it. Oh, let yourself off the hook. Just kick back. And at first it's almost a shock, or who is this? It's almost a foreign voice. Who is this talking to me, speaking such devilish language, right? And then we realize it is a familiar voice. And it's like, where is this coming from? This doesn't even sound like me. Like, hey, I don't know you. So you might sound familiar, but the words you're using sound unfamiliar to me. And we have to learn to decipher and recognize those voices, those nudges, those external suggestions. They're not necessarily meant for discouragement, but we all want everybody around us to be just like us, birds of a feather, right? Crabs in a barrel, right? So if you want to be the sleepy marshal in your crew with a bunch of 5 a.m.ers and you're the one saying, let's sleep in, let's sleep in. If you're outnumbered by the pack, guess what? You're getting up early. But if it's the reverse, you're hanging out with a bunch of night owls and you're trying to get up early and they're talking about, get up early for what? I don't get up to 10 and I still win. All right, maybe that works for them and that's their perspective. But for you, if you know you're tuned to a different frequency, don't let them get you. Okay? And it's not just about getting up early in the morning. That's just one example, because we can think, oh my gosh, the drudgery of getting up early and working out and stretching and yoga and exercise and da 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 and walking. And you know what? This is the path we chose. The path we chose to be able to live a higher quality of life. Some point, just got to get out there and move. Motion's lotion. Mind in motion comes from a body in motion. I'm pacing as I record this right now. It helps my thoughts flow better. But as I go forth and look to conquer and look to achieve my goals, I recognize that I can't forget to enjoy the journey. Because you know what? It may be more challenging some days to get up at 5 a.m. today, but the beautiful blessing of the sunrise that pops up at 5:25, 5:30, 5:35, 5:40 right now. I won't have the opportunity to enjoy that 6 months from now. It just won't be there. Why? Because the sun's still sleeping 6 months, right? So you can sleep in when it's cold outside. You can sleep in, if that's what you needed. You can wait till the season for, shorter days is upon you. But don't forget to enjoy the journey, because if you are also doing things right now that contribute towards your goal, but you're also finding that it feels like drudgery. It feels like, oh, I'm in the trenches. I'm suffering. I'm grinding. I'm just going through the paces. Simply recognize that this is just the journey. You are headed towards an amazing destination that you are guaranteed to receive and achieve if you don't what? Quit. If you don't quit. So we must learn to be diligent in keeping our heads down. Keeping our heads down and continuing to push forward so we do get that reward. We do get that, that personal milestone, that accolade, right? Maybe you're busting out some overtime on, some client project deliverable that might make you feel really rewarded when you get that good testimonial. Or maybe you're trying to put in a little overtime working for that promotion to get a raise or something like that. There's the times that come that we can grind and channel that extra energy in there, but don't look at those if they have to continue for 30, 60, 90 days as just some kind of prison sentence. It's a part of the journey to help you reach your destination. You don't see, a Mr. Olympia bodybuilder on stage with, the winning the title or the championship or the throne. I'm using all the bad terminology, but they're the winner. They're the winner. No one's sitting there, crying about all the things they did to get there. They're crying from their emotion because they know the sacrifice. They're recalling all of that. And all of a sudden, the pain from those grind sessions, they really don't matter anymore because the reward makes all that go away. It makes it all go away. Pain is temporary. Pride is forever. You hear him say in the gym a lot of times. And so I encourage you all to think about that when you're in the middle of a grind that feels uncomfortable, that feels like it's just this never ending. Well, you know what? The light at the end of the tunnel is not a train. There's never been 2 nights in a row. There's never been a double winter, right? Once you get through this, the cycle of life continues and the next phase of the journey begins, or the next mountain to climb begins. So don't forget to enjoy the journey, because it's the journey which is where the discipline's built. But that's the routine. I've talked immensely about how the strength is in the routine. So essentially the journey is where our strength is built. It's where we're, fortified. It's where we get, chiseled into be that end work that we want to become. So I encourage you all to go out there and keep your head down. Don't lose sight of the goal just because you're in the trenches, right? It's all got to line up. Hustle's got to match the goal, okay? So keep that in mind as you're out there hustling and getting after it today. If it's physical activity, if it's just enduring work hours or whatever it is, maybe it's building back a relationship or something that seems troubled, or it's going through its stages of getting healthier. Don't forget to enjoy these times, because this is going to be what you remember when you are at your mountaintop, when you're holding the trophy, when you're celebrating, the wedded bliss. You're going to remember the times that it wasn't so easy, and you'll actually learn to appreciate those, because those are the moments and the experiences that shape you into the person that you are now. That be. Now you've done the do, and now you get to have, but you just got to finish the journey. And don't forget to enjoy the journey that you're on. So with that, hopefully you all find motivation to get you going through your day, and have a great one. I'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.